Well, just when I thought I was done with Palomar 300As, I did another one for a customer. Guy said he had a nice clean one he would like to get going, yada yada. And I told him, hey, that costs you a lot of money. These things are not, well, parts alone aren't cheap to get and all that. And he's like, no, no, he wants it working. So, he shipped it to me, and he packed it pretty good. The RF deck and the tubes, he shipped in separate boxes, and everything came out good. And once I got it, I'm like, okay, I can see why he wanted to get this one going. It's very, very clean. This is the insides, and mind you, I did not do any cleaning on this at all. It came to me like this. It had original caps in it, so we replaced the caps. The two black ones there are your high voltage caps for the high voltage power supply. The blue one here on that board is for the low voltage and for your 12 volts that runs the preamp and the relays, and I think that's about it. And then up here, that's the bias board, and it has some large white plastic caps in it, and those were replaced by these blue caps too. And that was it for the electrolytics. Yeah, people ask me all the time, where are the high voltage diodes at in these things? Those four diodes right there are the high voltage diodes. Some of these amps have a bridge, which is four diodes in one component. They put four in one. Like a chip can have lots of components, in one case. So a bridge is just four diodes like that in one case. So some have a bridge and some have the four diodes like that. But anyway, same function. And normally, if you have the original high voltage caps in, they are a lot longer and larger than the replacements that are out now. The originals go from that front hole there all the way to that hole behind it there. And the originals cover the high voltage diodes there. So you can't see the diodes right there if you have original high voltage caps in. But with the new ones a lot smaller in sides, I did drill a hole, and therefore I don't have the wire lead going way over there to that side of the diodes, and these new caps don't cover the diodes. That's the bleeder resistors. This amp has light bleed, and they're in parallel from the high voltage to ground. So these are not used as equalizing resistors at all. They do not go across each cap individually. These two caps are in series, and these two resistors are in parallel from the positive high voltage of these two caps to ground. So it does no equalizing at all. It just bleeds it down a little bit, and it's light bleed on it. This one had the high voltage shutoff relay. The high voltage was only is only activated when you key it down. It also keys that high voltage relay when you key down, and that turns on the high voltage from the transformer that goes into the power supply. So right now there's no high voltage applied to the amp, even though I have it on. And I'm being careful. I'm really like a foot away from this thing. I just got the camera zoomed in and pointed into it, but I'm pretty far away from it. Also on this amp is one thing I've mentioned before. I found curious that Palomar did with some of these that had the high voltage relay. Again, the relay is only activates when you key it down, right? So also this amp, it had somebody had replaced the standby switch on it already, and that's a dual pole standby switch. And one of the poles went to standby operate, and the other turned the high voltage on during operate. However, the high voltage doesn't apply anyway because you got this relay, you know, in line. So my thoughts are that before they install that additional safety relay, that they had the high voltage going through the switch, and if you were in standby, the high voltage was not, you know, going to the tubes, was not applied. So if a tube had a glitch or something, you know, which it wouldn't with no high voltage on it, but anyway, if the tube went out or had a glitch or a short or something, it had no high voltage on it, so the amp would not go up in smoke in standby in that configuration. But if you had it laying around and operate and something happened with the high voltage on, kabam. But however, they installed the switch, the relay here, so to me, this additional high voltage cutoff switch was not needed at all. So, and it's the wrong color and type of switch anyway. Well, not type, but wrong color, wrong sides. They had this red switch, you know, on the face of this amplifier here. It didn't match, stuck out like an ugly sore thumb on this pretty box. So we replaced it with a single pole switch and just hooked up the high voltage after the relay. So the high voltage still isn't applied in, until you key down. So in standby you're not keyed down, and operate you're not keyed down until you actually key down, and then the high voltage is applied. I'm getting long with it, so let me wrap this up. I like the Palomar 300As because they have tune input on the high side. That's for the driver tubes, the tune input. So you put it on high, you tune that for a low SWR. Then on the low side, it bypasses the driver tubes, and your power coming in goes straight to the final tubes. And it's got a tune input for the low side, which is that there variable capacitor and that choke there. So I like that a lot. I like it because they got the safety relay where it's no high voltage till you turn it on. Just a pretty well made amp. And this is the front of this one. I didn't clean it up because I'll let the owner do that, because some of my cleaners can fade it a little bit, and I didn't want to fade this pretty amp here. Let's not turn it and tip it over. So let's go over here. Again, we did nothing to it except recap it and replace that bad switch. Original fan running cool, and still has all the 10 through 40 meter band stuff in it, which is all that stuff there, the band switch, the extra coils there for 15 to 40 meter. If you're going to run 10 meters, all you would need is that coil there, that tank coil there. About 4 turns. I keep saying that over and over. Tune cap, load cap, low voltage board with your keying circuit and your relays on it. Sometime with heavy use, or if you abuse it, you have problems with those white relays there. And if you do, those relays are very expensive, hard to find, expensive, almost unobtaining. And if you do find one, they're like 75, 100 bucks a relay. So don't abuse this amp, but these in it are good. If you got a bad relay, you can bypass that, or not bypass it, but replace it with something different. But then you got to do a whole bunch of wiring, and who wants, you know, that extra work, right? And there are no direct replacements made for that relay there. And also your tunable output for your drivers. Well, you tune the drivers going into the finals, and that's what that tuner on the back is for. Just a basic 2 drive and 4. Probably one of the best CB sweep tube amps ever made for what it does. Just an old workhorse. So anyway, that was more talking than I intended to do. We're gonna key it down right quick. Well, no, we got it on standby. So we just gonna show the mud duct radios, only doing a couple watts going into it on the 20 watt scale. 1 watt audio, talking to maybe 2, maybe 1.5. Doggone, barely whistling at 1.5. And that's on a dummy low. And look at my input, my SWR coming off the radio, 1.0. I've heard people say that a 1.1 is a perfect match. No, a 1.1 is, you know, in between a 1.0 and a 1.2, right? A perfect match is a 1.0, like that, right? But that's going to a dummy low, bypassing the amp. So you're gonna put it on operate, and we just gonna go to the high side and put that on a 2,000 watt scale on average. Again, only putting a watt going into this thing, 1.5 watts. And we're dead keying 150. Well, it creeps up because it's got that voltage doubler in it, and it takes it a second to charge the cap. Audio, we're up to about 200. Audio, barely swinging forward on average, but again, remember what that radio is doing. 1 in, 200 out is not bad. That's the input SWR with the amp on. About 1.3, talking about 1.4. And we're gonna put it on peak. Audio, talking about 375, 400 peak watts. Not too bad with 1 or 2 watts going into the thing, and everything running the way it's supposed to. Meter working. I didn't try to preamp, but I'm not even gonna worry about it. I'm not a fan of preamps anyway. And nothing getting hot, nothing sharing. Palomar 300A audio. No hitches, no glitches, no nothing, doing what it's supposed to do. And by the way, that's kind of how I like to drive them. I might put a little more swing in that, but I like them to dead key about 200, maybe even less, 150, 100, and just let these guys swing. No pain, no strain. Alright, that's it for this one. Bye.